Kids heading into the classroom, reigniting the debate if masks should be worn in school.
Worried about my 9-year-old. She's too young to be vaccinated. And our governor wants to send our kids into school without a mask mandate. That's dangerous. I think that is unacceptable.
If people want to wear masks, it's absolutely up to their choice to do that. But as a parent who does not want their kid wearing a mask, we should have a choice as well. It shouldn't just be one-sided.
One reason parents may be against masking when it comes to kids, they argue COVID is just like the flu. But is this a fair comparison? Well, doctors say the most straightforward answer is no, and here's why. We're dealing with a new pandemic, a new virus, and a new variant.
For the kids who can't get vaccinated, that's the reason why we're having a strong recommendation that in the schools, everybody should wear a mask, whether or not you're vaccinated. We've got to protect the children.
The Delta variant is now attacking younger populations. While the number of kids hospitalized with COVID to date, around 3,300, has not come anywhere close to flu season highs, comparing deaths tells a different story. In a bad flu season, almost 200 kids can die, although it's believed this number is an undercount. So far, COVID has taken about 350 children's lives. Tracking which kids are most at risk from COVID is a challenge, as only 23 states and New York City provide age distribution of COVID hospitalizations. ICU doctors tell NBC News they're seeing both healthy children and ones with underlying medical conditions in the hospital. But adolescents who are obese seem to be particularly vulnerable.
You should assume that we're going to see pediatric intensive care units all across the South completely overwhelmed. We somehow have to get the word out to parents that this Delta is something different. It is picking off young people like we've never seen.
Another point of concern, experts are still learning about the severe unknown complications of COVID, like multi-inflammatory syndrome in children.
About 11 out of 100,000 children will develop MIS-C, and it is a frightening disease. Children come in they've had COVID about a month before, and then they'll come in with fever, rash, red eyes, high fever, sometimes respiratory symptoms, but most often it affects their heart.
Finally, while any child dying from the flu is a tragedy, one reason why flu deaths in children are more preventable is because we have a vaccine. Science has allowed us to minimize the flu's impact, and we don't have that with COVID for children quite yet. All the more reason everyone eligible for a COVID vaccine should get one.
Almost every teacher I've ever heard of or known is vaccinated, and rightfully so. They're around children who can't be vaccinated. So yes, the way to prevent disease in yourself and others is to enhance vaccination rates, encourage your family members, encourage your friends to become vaccinated.
Here's the good news for parents. Compared to adults, children have a much lower risk of getting seriously sick from COVID. But right now, we have surging cases, a new variant, and no vaccines, all as school is starting. COVID is not the flu. Our children should be masking up, at least until we can bring cases way down and have other protections for them, like a vaccine.